Hi Woolly Wanderers, and welcome to our channel. My name's Joanne Piner and I form part of the name Repin Crafts. Mine's the pin bit, my mum's the re bit, and she's not with me today because she doesn't do any spinning stuff, but we will be coming back with a video soon with us both sewing together and having a little chat. If you haven't been with us before or haven't seen us before, then you are most welcome to our channel. We do all different crafts, mainly sewing with my mum and embroidery, and then projects from Roxy's Creations or different people that inspire us. We kind of try one of their tasks or one of their little prompts. And I also, as well as doing learning the embroidery with my mum, I also teach people how to spin yarn. I use various different ways, and today I'm going to be showing you how to spin from a drop spindle from a top whorl spindle, unsupported. And I just really wanted to just say to you, don't be frightened of it. You know, letting go of that spindle and letting the whorl spin, and it's not supported, can be a bit frightening. But I don't want you to be frightened of it. So I'm going to show you things which happen, because I think the biggest way to help you is by your mistakes, because that's how you learn. So if I show you some of the possible things that can happen, then I will be able to help you put them right. I'm going to do a new segment called What's on the Wheel? And I'm going to show you what's on my wheel. I'm also going to show you some stuff that I've been doing, knitting, and the wool I've been using for that. And also other wool that I've spun, and what I'm going to possibly be doing with these. Okay, so let's get into the video. And cut! Okay, this is some Shetland and nylon I bought because I'm making some socks at the minute, and I haven't actually spun my own sock yarn. So I thought for my first spin with socks, I shall use some with nylon just to get me going, to see how they fare. So this is Shetland and nylon. This is from World of Wool. This is a lovely colour, as you can see. It's a nice variegated colour with kind of deep reds and oranges, and I thought it'd be good for Halloween. I'll be knitting them up probably for next Halloween, I'll say, because I'm not that fast a knitter with socks yet. This is only my first pair of socks that I've started knitting, which I'll show you later. Okay, so you've got a roving, and I'm going to use my drop spindle, which is here. This is what I've done so far, and I just wanted to show you what I do. So mine hasn't got any notches in it. If you can see the spindle, it's got no notches in it. So I might attach this a bit differently than other people, but it's fine, it works, so that's good. Right, so how do we do this? Okay, so I've just come out a bit further so I can spin and you'll see it. Right, first of all, I'm going to split. Light. Okay, I just have to shut the doors. Right, so I've added a bit of light, so hopefully you can see a bit more. So most importantly, this needs to attach onto this hook that you can see there. Okay, so this is your working yarn, if you like. This is the yarn you're making. It's a woolly preparation I'm making because it's been carded, this wool has. And I've left a bit on the top. Actually, I'm going to have to wind this on a bit more. Hang on a minute. I just wrap it around my hand. I know people do a lot of posh things with it, but I don't. Anyway, so I'm just going to wind this on quite simply, just winding that on to my, can't think what that's called, bit of wood. I'm sure there's a very technical name for it, which I will probably add in right about now. And then I shall bring it up again to the hook. Okay, so I've gone around that twice because, as I said, I haven't got any, sometimes you get notches in them. So I've split the yarn. I'm sure I did this earlier. I don't know if my puppy got down to it. Anyway, I'm going to split the yarn. And then I'm going to take it off to a bit of a more manageable length. Now, that's what we're going to attach on to my little feathery bit here. I'll take that bit off. So as you can see, I've left myself a bit of an end. Now, what I do, and I'm not saying this is right, I'm not saying this is wrong, everybody does it differently, but what I do to make it easier is I will ply that out a bit now. So ply it, what about ply? Not ply, I will put it out a bit and I'm going to add a bit of spin, okay? A bit of twist. Goodness sake, I can't think of my words today. So I'm going to make that slightly shorter to come up to. Right, so that's a bit shorter and you can see that's, so I'm going to stop it by clamping it in there. Then I'm going to get my bit of wool that I want to attach. Now, I put it one bit over the top. So I'm just going to zoom in with my camera. So I've got the bit which is coming off the spindle there, and I've got my new bit here. I place it on the top, okay? And then I hold them together. So now I've got them both in my hands. There. Just going to come out again. Right. I'm going to add some twist. And then I'm going to start drafting the other bit, which should be attaching to the new bit. I'm going to do a bit more twist. And there we are. That's now attached. The other thing I may do sometimes, if I'm not too sure, I will lick these two fingers and I will just go over that, give it a little rub. You will do less and less of this when you get really into it. But if you want to just be a bit more secure, you can just, what you're doing is sort of felting it a bit. Okay, this is what I do to get it going, is I push it along my hip. I will do another shot of that in a minute. Right, okay, you can't see anything that I'm doing, so that's good. Not at all, so I'm going to have to change that, change the angle. Right, I'm going to just park it again, wrap it around my fingers, so it's coming down. I untake it off the hook, and once again I'm just going to spin it round the rest of the wool which is on there, twist it on there, and that's all now nice and sturdy. Okay, I'm going to do a different angle so you can actually see what I'm doing, which would be a proper how-to video, wouldn't it? Right, okay, wait there. Okay, let's see if you can see this a bit better. So I've got my drop spindle, it's unsupported, it's carrying the weight. Now what's happened here a little bit, the twist has gone up into this bit of the yarn. So I'm going to grab the end that I've just spun and I'm just going to simply unwrap it a bit. Now why am I doing that? It's because I want to be able to draw it. Now if it was a bit twisted and I go to draw it, it won't move. So I'm just going to take some of that twist out and then I'll be able to draft it. Okay, that's a really, really good tip, because sometimes you're getting up, so you're doing all of this lovely stuff, which you can hardly see because it's the colouring. And then we go to draw the next lot and it's stuck. So that's a really good tip. So make sure before you start anything that this bit, your new whorl, which isn't twisted, you're able to ply it. So the way you can check that is just spin it a little bit, get it going, start drafting. Yeah, that's good. I'm able to do that. There's my whorl. Okay, I'm going to move back a bit because I just want to show you what I do to get it really going. This bit of yarn here can quite easily get attached to this, and then all sorts of funky things start happening, and you don't want that because we're not trying to make art yarn, we're just trying to make a single ply. So I kind of put it behind my wrist like that. So I just put my wrist in and put it behind. With my little finger here, I'm guiding as I'm moving along the wall. So I'm going to do it on my hip. So this is what I do it. So I've got the spindle bit here and I just push it against there, and it really does go for it when you do that. We've got the V draft there going. So I'm drafting away. No, I'm going to get rid of that bit because I don't like that bit. I'm doing it all wrong. So when I put this around, I'm just going to show you what I do. Because it's not got a notch, which is quite handy sometimes because I have used one with a notch, I get the yarn, I pull it tight, and then I'm winding it around the hook at the top. Okay, I've got quite a long bit here still, just to show you what I'm doing a bit more. This bit here is exactly the same as if you were spinning on a wheel. Okay, so you've got like a V coming down, and then you've got the wool here, which is then being spun as you're drafting out. Okay, we'll talk a bit about drafting in a minute. I have just talked a little bit about it, but if you're completely new and you've never done any of this, then you may want to know how to draft as well. So I will cover that a little bit. Right, okay, so I get this and I say I do that. I actually do that thing when I've got a really long length of fibre, but my puppy keeps grabbing hold of the other end, and he walked away with a bit and just mucked it up completely this morning. So right, so all the time I've got hold of the twist. We really don't want the twist to go into this bit of wool. So all the time I'm kind of talking, I've got hold of the twist there, okay? If it does get into this bit, we can just unwind it from here and then make sure we can draft. Now, draft means I'm getting hold of the bit of yarn that I've made and twisted, and this is the bit I haven't made, and I'm simply pulling it. Now, when I get the spindle whirring, I can pull, and it's twisting. Pull, twist, pull, twist, pull, twist, pull, twist. Now, it's still whirring, but I can plant it. And what I'm doing there is a very short forward draw, basically. I'm going to just put this onto my, I can't even think what that's called, so I'm going to have to look it up. Right, so once again, I've been holding on to this all the time because I don't want the twist to go into here. I want it to just stay there. This is still active, basically, okay? There's still twist in this, and if I let go of this, the twist will come into this part of the yarn, which we don't want. But I will show you what happens. So I've just attached that on. Just gonna, with this one, you just need to, It's a bit of a pain. Right, okay. Ooh. Stop. Sorry about that. So I'm going to twist the bottom. I'm keeping hold of the twist, and I'm going to draft and twist and draft and twist, draft, twist, draft, twist. And you can see I'm just doing like inch at a time, maybe even half an inch. But at the beginning, you don't need to do great big long bits. So I'm kind of guiding it with this finger here, but using this hand as well. So look, the spin is stopped now. So when it's stopped, what it's going to do is that, which means it's going the opposite way. So that's why, I'll just get under here. That's why sometimes it breaks. Okay, so we want to not let it twist the other way. So when it's stopped, we either put another twirl in it. As you can see, I'm just simply going around with that. You either put another spin on it, or you stop it like I did and put it just in between my knees, and it stops it. Right, I'm just going to wind this on. As you can see, I am putting some tension, because you don't want all those bits to be then go up like that. You don't want those little curls. You want it straight, so that when you're putting it onto your spindle, it's all nice and straight. So I'm coming up again. Right, I go round. Oh, yeah. So I go round my spindle, round my hoop, sorry. Waiting for it to find a position that it wants to stop at. I wasn't doing this earlier. So funny, isn't it? You get on camera and it's like, nah, I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to do that now. Oh, look what's happening. Oh, well, that's why it keeps getting long. Anyway, right, let's just go from where we are. So I'm going to get the bottom of the whorl. Whorl? Is it called a whorl? I can't remember. Anyway, get the bottom, spin it. So I'm twisting it, and then I'm drafting and pulling. Draft, pull, draft, pull, draft. And it's twisting as I'm drafting. That's happily going down there. So I'm going to make it longer. This is nice and long. And then I'm going to stop it with my legs. I'm then got hold of the twist up here, and then I'm just going to simply, so this is the thing, if you let it, usually I just put it straight in. So what I did there was I looked at the camera and then thought, oh, you can't see that, so I'll bring it down, and I did that, and then unfortunately it's tangled a bit, so we just untwist that. Bye. Untwist that. I'm just saying goodbye to my mum. She's going out with the dog. So I'm just going to untwist that. Bit of curly cops. Oh, it's not going to do it now, is it? It's not going to do it because I'm on camera. Just easy if you get a bit of... Obviously, don't put twist back in it. I'm trying to get it out so I can get it apart. Can't really see what I'm doing, so I'm probably going to cut this bit out. I'm trying to get rid of that, because it's spun back on itself, and it's being a naughty nuisance. I will put it as something else, but anyway, right, there we are. So I've got that out now. So it's very difficult to see because it's very, very fine. Right, that's out. Okay, so holding tension on it, keep the tension on it, because that's what I didn't do. We then wrap it around our hand again. So I think what I'll do is I'll do some shorter ones so you can see me. Yeah, this really keeps twisting around here today. Never mind. We'll just work with what we got, and I'm going to put it back on. Now, the reason why it's quite good to use woolen wool, so wool that has been carded, is it makes it a little bit more sticky than slicker wool, which we would use as worsted wool. So as I said, this is a Shetland, and it's been carded. what I might get my husband to do with this, you know, it's just to put a notch in it, which would make it easier. I don't know why it's not attaching today. Right, okay, here we are, back on again. So I've got my V. This is important, you know, this bit here is really important. It's got to look like that. You want the drafting section to be in a V shape, if you can see that. In a V shape, can you see? Right, that's got really thin now, so I'm just going to break it off because I want to show you how to join. When you're first doing this, it's really easy for it to break because this is quite heavy. This is going to be inconsistent if you're first starting, you know, don't worry, that's completely fine. We all start like that. So what I do is I'm going to get this bit, as you can see, it's still fluffy, and then I'm going to draft a bit out of this one. I'm going to hold them both together. So that tail is kind of overlapping this bit. I'm going to put some twist in it, not much, and I'm going to let it rise up because obviously it's got to go from the bottom. So it's coming up, okay, and that's it joined. I've parked it. As I said, lick your fingers if you're not too happy with the join, and that's just felting a bit. So I've just done that over the join. Right, just going to do one more spin and ply, for goodness sake, draft, Joanne, draft. That's it, still going, it's going a bit crazy, and I'm going to park it. I'm holding on to the tension, I'm holding on to the twist, I don't want it to go. Wrapped it around my hand, undo it from this thing which is going round and round and round, but never mind. I've actually got a Turkish spindle as well, and I do like using that as well because it actually puts it into a ball straight away. But I decided to use this one because I wanted to show people who have got just a drop spin, because you can make these. Right, so I've got about, I don't know, 6 inches of yarn there. Let's see if this will take straight away. 1, 2, come on. Right. I'm going to do, I'm just going to spin that on a bit more. Let's just see if this works. Still not very good, but anyway. Right, spindle, holding on to the bottom, twist, draft, so I'm pulling it to the right for me because I'm right-handed. Right, that's stopping. I'm going to get it on my leg and go like that. When you do that, it goes loopy, loopy-loo. It likes that. It's like, whee! So it's still spinning. And then I'm going to park it. I'm keeping hold of the twist. And I'm going to keep tension on it so it doesn't get all those curly cues. And I'm going to wrap it around. Okay, some of the issues you're going to get. Breakages, without a shadow of a doubt. Breakages are absolute pain, especially when you're getting going. And you're like, oh my goodness, I'm doing this, plonk. And there it is on the floor. Okay, hence the word drop spindle. Now, I'm sure drop spindles because you're dropping it like that, and it's whirling around. Okay, try and be a bit more relaxed about it and do it from the side. So you're not doing it up like that, because you've got all the weight on it then. Try and just play it from the side. And because I've got this running along here, I'm supporting that, and that's coming along. Yeah, so most top whorl spindles will have a notch on it, which you then plonk the yarn into, this bit into, you plonk it in, and it stays there instead of slipping around like a blooming slippy thing from Slipsville. Excuse me. So let's come up again, up to our... Oh, this really doesn't want to do this. It's doing absolutely fine last night. See? Even if you're used to doing it, it still does it. Right. What I'm going to do in a bit actually as well is to show you a better picture of the whorl that we're making, so that you can see. So I'm pulling, this is through that finger, through my little pinky here, and then I'm drafting with my left hand and my right hand. There's no tension in this hand at all. This, I'm going from one, so I'm basically holding the twist, drafting, so I'm letting go, but I'm holding the twist there. I'm just going to part that. So I've got the twist in this hand now, and then I've drafted. I'm just going to put a bit more twist in it. So I've got, it's going to go. And I'm kind of swapping hands. So I'm going bum, 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 bum. Obviously, I don't necessarily have to make that noise. But because I'm a musician, I just tend to put music to everything. To every sound. I used to do it with my kids. We're gonna change your bum diddy bum diddy bum diddy ba 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 bum diddy. And this is what, when I used to sing going up the stairs when I was taking them up to change their nappies. Yeah, so everything has a little sound to it. Right, now the twist has come up into this bit, only here, only in that bit, but of course that's the exact place I need to draft. So look, I'm trying to draft and it's not working. I'm holding the twist in my left hand. Obviously, if you're left-handed, it would be the opposite hand. I'm grabbing hold of this and I'm just going round and untwisting it. Now I can draft. Okay? That's all you have to do with that. Don't worry if it does that, because it will do that. Okay. Part. Keeping your hands, holding the twist. Tension this around your fingers, that's what I do. Come back round and wind it on. Now, some of you might have some questions, which is fine. So I'll be happy to answer any questions in the comments box. So here I am. I was going to talk to you about what I've been doing and what's on my wheel. So first things first, I've been doing some knitting. As I was saying, I'm making my first sock, which I am so proud of, because years, I've been saying to my mum, I'm going to make some socks, I'm going to make some socks. Here's my first sock. Well, it's not a first sock, here's my first starting sock. It's beautiful yarn, isn't it? This is commercial yarn, I bought this. I mean, 10 or 12 years ago, at least. Right, okay, so I'm doing it on 9-inch circular needles. These are 2.5mm. It is tiny, this whole thing, but I have tried the the 4 needle method, and I end up with ladders in them basically. But as you can see, my top, this is the first time my top has had no ladders. I can go all the way around and show you no ladders. And they're nice and stretchy because I have varicose veins. Lovely. And yeah, so I want them to be loose fitting at the top as well. So I did a, oh goodness, what do you call that? When you pull it out the length and, oh, I'll put it up here somewhere because I can't remember. Tail. Oh, I can't think. Right. So that's this. So this is a work in progress, but I'm very happy with that. And I'm just so in love with it because I've never managed to get that far before. So that's what I'm doing there. The next thing is I'm making myself a nice shawl. I'll put the picture up. This is the yarn that I did a video on, which was my single, and which I, to a certain degree, felted a bit. So I fulled it, it's called. I fulled it. And you can see that the single just won't fall apart, which I'm really so pleased with. So, really pleased with that as a single. So it's not particularly thin yarn, but it's really nice to work with. It's got tweed in it, which is, I just really like the colour, and I didn't want to mix it with anything else because I only got 100 grams of it. So I decided to use it as a single. Now this is what I'm making with it. Because I've only got 100 grams, I've just used another bit of my wool in the middle of this, which I think goes quite well. And it's all knit. And then these are drop stitches. So you wrap around 3 times on the knit one way, and then when you go back, you take them off, take the 3 off, and you end up with this lovely V. And because it's hand spun, you can really see the beauty of the yarn. I think I love it. I just absolutely love it. This is a bit of alpaca. This is plied yarn. It's a very old piece of yarn, actually. I just found it, and so it's on my earlier days of spinning. So it is a bit wonky, but we love wonky. That's why we do hand spinning. So yeah, it's going to be like a V, which comes round, and then it's going to be joined here. So you can just wear it in menopause, hot sweats, nightmare. So for me, just having that kind of cover around my neck and that, but not covering my arms, I just think it's going to be really nice. Once again, I'm on circular needles because I really do. I don't spin I don't knit on other needles anymore. I have done bamboo, I've done all different needles, but I prefer the circular needles for me because the work just rests in your lap then, like that, and you haven't got them on 2 needles. These are 4.5 mil for us UK guys. I'll have a look up what that is US. Schnitter. All right, what's that? Oh, that was a cable. It's a cable thing. Right, but anyway, so I'm going to go back to the orange now, and that should hopefully finish that all up. I've got these other 2. I do like these. These are nice. I've put them I put them on from a, because when you've got a skein, you obviously can't work from a skein. So I've got a windy ball winder, a short term for ball winder, or should I say long term. And yeah, so this might end up being something like I'm doing there for a friend, because I know she loves blue, and I have a different blue, which might go with it as well. So 2 contrasting blues, but this one I wound up by hand because I couldn't, there was something wrong with that, so I had to do it by hand in the end. I think it got caught up or something, but it's got some beautiful shiny wool in there, which I'm very pleased with. Yeah, so I think those two will go together, and that will be possibly another shawl thing. This one, I am a bit unsure what to do with it actually, but it's got such gorgeous colours in it. It's got like this purple, I don't know if you can see it, right in here. Can't really see it. And pinks and oranges. Yeah, it's just picking up the oranges really. But oh yeah, look, you can just see there. So that's quite a funky yarn, but it's not next to the skin yarn. When I bought it, I was like, oh my goodness. I can't remember what sheep it was. So that's definitely not going to be a hat or a scarf or a pair of socks. Maybe a tea cosy. Yeah, maybe a tea cosy. Watch this space, because I need a new tea cosy. So that might be for that actually, because I can't wear that because I'm actually, I know it sounds a bit weird, but I don't like wool next to my skin if it's itchy. Some people do. Some people really get on with it, but I don't. I bought this week as well. This came yesterday, and it's from hilltopfarm.co.uk. Oh, sorry, hilltopcloud.co.uk. And this is 70% BFL, 15% alpaca, 15% seashell, which I think is seaweed. And it's just got some beautiful colours in it. And there's a seashell, you can really see that there. And it's lovely and soft and floofy. Once again carded, so you're going to get a woolen type wool out of that. You can spin worsted with woolen wool, okay, and you will get a smoother wool. But most people, not most people, some people will spin long draw with that. But you can do a short forward draw as well, which will make it, perhaps the fibres go a little bit neater. But actually what I want with it actually is for it to be nice and woolly. So unsure what I'm going to do with that one, but I just thought I'd show it to you because it's new. Oh yeah, there, you can really see the colours there. Gorgeous, really lovely hand-dyed wool. I've used Hilltop Cloud a couple of times now for specialist stuff, and yeah, they're lovely. In fact, they sent me this as well, which I thought was lovely, and this is called Kashgora. And look at the colours on that, and it is so soft because I've got an Angora rabbit, as you know, or you might not know if you've never joined me before. And Angora is actually one of the finest fibres you can use. So this is obviously with cashmere and Angora. So I shall enjoy having a little play with that just to see how that spins up. And that's really caught you up where I am at the minute. I am still doing my sewing, and I've got a new sewing machine to do some free motion quilting, which I'll show you what I'm doing with that later on, not today. Because this video has gone on way long enough because it's been a bit frustrating with my spindle. I hope this video's helped. I know it's a bit everywhere. But the basic things are joining on. Hopefully I've given you some good tips for that. It's about the way you hold it, because we do kind of do all this, all right, and we're like this. Try and do it to the side, okay? Use your pinky finger to kind of guide yourself. This or that. 1, 2, 1, 2 are holding the twist, okay, and you're kind of going from one to the next, holding the twist and doing that, all right? And if you're new to it, I would certainly start with a woolen prep wool, something which is, you know, something like this wool would be good because it's rougher and the fibres stick together more. Okay, so there are all different wools out there, so just try. I think that's what I'm saying to you today, is just give it a go. Okay, any questions, please put them in the comments box. I really appreciate everybody who responds to our videos, etc, etc. We will be doing another sewing video. I can't say a time, hopefully in the very, very near future. I shall be popping up again on YouTube, and you shall see me and my mum together. Okay, thanks very much for tuning in. I was going to show you Jet, but he's going mad outside somewhere. And we'll get together soon again. Happy spinning, everyone. Take care. Bye. Okay, you can't see me at all now, but I forgot to do what's on the wheel, my new segment. So once again, I'm doing a single. This is actually Polwarth, and it is glorious. It really is just delectable. It is so soft, really, really soft. I bought it at a wool fair quite a few years ago, and I've decided to do it into a single because it's just so nice. I am going to dye this, so you can see they're quite chunky singles. Once again, woolen prep, so it's nice. And I actually did, just press that again, I actually did long draw with this, and which does make it go a bit faster, I have to say. So that's spun up really nicely. I'm going to obviously take that off, put it on a niddy noddy, which will then produce a skein. I will then wash it, not with any washing stuff. It will just be setting the I'll be fulling it, sorry. No, I'll be fulling this. So what I'll do is I'll make a video of that. God, my hands look disgusting. Right, I'll be making a video of me fulling this so you can see the process of that. Hot to cold, hot to cold. And you put ice cubes in the cold. I mean, it has to be cold. What you're trying to do is shock the fibres, so that what happens is it kind of makes them do that. Okay, so at the minute they're quite open and it kind of shocks them. I might do a bit of thwacking. I'll see. We like a bit of thwacking, but it might not need it. But anyway, we'll see. I did thwack that other single a bit too much, I think. I was obviously a bit frustrated that day. So there may be thwacking, there may not be thwacking, but I'll let you know and you'll see on the video. But that will be a nice single, especially once I've dyed it. I'm going to kind of do different colours on it. So you can experiment with me and we'll watch what I do, and hopefully I won't cock it up. Okay. Thanks again. Bye.